Welcome back to day 4 of the Northern Ireland Travel News Virtual Forum, Kickstart the Recovery in association with Jet2holidays. Over the last few days, we have tried to cover as many of the major issues that have affected the travel industry in the last year, with contributions from operators, industry bodies and travel agents. Today is a special day in that we have been able to speak to the very top of our industry and the leaders that have influence to shape our future. Next, we have Julia Bue-Said, the CEO of the Advantage Travel Centres Group, who are the largest consortium for agents in Northern Ireland. Julia became CEO of the Advantage Travel Centres Group in April 2018, having previously been Managing Director since July 2013. With a 25-year tenure in the business, Julia's vision and passion of the sector has enabled her to transform the business culture to one of vigour and energy. In January 2021, Julia was announced as an industry influencer on the Business Travel News Europe 2021 hot list. Well, hello, Julia. Thank you very much indeed for joining us here in our Kickstart the Recovery Forum in association with Jet2holidays. Really appreciate you taking the time. Just going to ask you a few questions and get a wee bit of a background about what's been happening over the last 14 months and moving forward. Could you tell us a wee bit about your Advantage membership support throughout COVID and the close contact that you've had with your members during the last 14 months?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Jonathan, and thank you for having me. It's really proud to be here and delighted to be speaking to and supporting the event. When I can't believe it's 14 months. I mean, we talk about it all the time and it's gone so quick. But you know, when the pandemic first kicked in, and I remember it like it was yesterday, back in that day in March. One of the things that I was absolutely clear was with my team that we would be doing everything to make sure that membership support, you know, becomes out and stays as our #1 priority. We've all got pressures in a business and we all have to make decisions, but actually we would be completely unfazed and completely undistracted in supporting our members. And we started off by doing daily communications, and I was doing daily videos to the members with messages about, you know, updates on what was happening. And very slowly that kind of escalated in terms of, you know, media and consumer activity. But certainly from a member's point of view, we've been kind of holding their hands right the way from day one, helping them with the refund issues that unfortunately everyone's had to deal with, and, you know, the complete enormity of that situation, and really there to support them with the issues they've had with our supply partners, but really just trying to give them an insight into what's happening, how can they best manage different situations, and really give them advice on, you know, legal aspects, HR aspects, you know, all furlough. I mean, we never knew what furlough was back then, so all the different regulations that started to come in and the government support schemes. I wanted to make sure that we were there on hand the whole time, as I say, completely undistracted and making sure we could continue supporting those members. Absolutely, communication's everything, and having that support mechanism has been incredible, you know, over that period of time. I think we've all seen that you have tried as often as possible to have a strong media profile, and I congratulate you on that. And your belief in the importance of standing up and fighting for the agent's position. Can you tell us a wee bit about this? Yeah, thank you for that, Jonathan. You know, for Advantage is a membership-owned organisation. We have no other shareholders, we have no private investors. It's 100% owned by the members. So for me and my team, you know, when we support the members and we talk about the business, we're talking about individual members. I'm really close to a lot of my members in Northern Ireland. I'm pretty sure I know every single one of them. I've met every single one of them. I've been up, you know, loads of times before. We've had some great times up there. When I talk about members, I see people's faces. I know who I'm talking about. I'm here to represent every single one of them, and I feel that pain. I really do. So every media opportunity, every opportunity to engage with government. You know, I was fortunate to be on the Global Travel Task Force work stream, so I've been really actively involved, sat around the table on Whitehall round table meetings with government. Every time I do that, I'm doing that for every single member that I know, and these are people, they're not businesses. So it's been really important for me and my team that we've been able to do that. And, you know, I will not stop, and we certainly won't stop. And, you know, I actually think our role as leaders in a time of crisis is to make sure we stand up and we are heard and be accounted and be accountable to our members. You know, we can't sit back. Well, I certainly can't sit back and allow, you know, I think, you know, issues to kind of run by the way without being actively involved. We all have a responsibility to be heard, to work together, but actually we're business leaders in our own right, and we've got to make sure we do that. So I think it's incredibly important that we've managed to do that, but incredibly important that we continue doing that as well.
Yeah, just following on from that, actually, could you give us your view on the importance of a unified, you know, consistent industry message and your role in the Save Future Travel Coalition?
Yeah, I think that unified message is really important. However, what I've learned, what it doesn't mean is that we have to agree on everything, because we all have different nuances in our business, and sometimes, you know, we you know, that unified message, whilst you know, we'll all agree in principle, there won't be everything we agree on. So those nuances that are important to individual businesses, and that could be, you know, we can talk as a travel industry, but aviation will have different challenges, inbound will have different challenges, you know, so we have to be cognizant of that. So definitely a unified voice. And the Save Future Travel Coalition, I've been a really active member, been part of that. Actually, I've met with those guys every week now for the past 14 months. Really, really important vehicle to bring the industry together, exceptionally important, and that will continue. But it's very important we don't just rely on one coalition. Very important. Anita in Northern Ireland and Damien and the team have done a phenomenal job, and you know, we work very closely with them as well, as we do with the SPA in Scotland. So it's really important that we work together, we understand each other's nuances, but actually we make sure that the messages are unified, but they're very clear to us as individual businesses as well. I think that's really important. And I think what the industry's done exceptionally well is work together, but be very clear of where our positioning is. So Save Future Travel Coalition, you will see us being very active in that environment. And there'll be some very clear messages where we will come out together. There'll be messages that we support in our own right. But actually, from a government point of view, they want that clarity, and you know, obviously the Northern Ireland administration want that clarity as well. And actually, you know, I think Anita have done a great job, because they've been able to really speak on behalf of travel agents, and it's a much cleaner message, which is a bit more complicated, I think, for us in England in terms of being able to do that. Absolutely.
Like all of us, of course, you have your own frustrations around the different guidance for agents in Scotland and Northern Ireland and Wales, which is actually frustrating for both the industry and consumer. Do you think this can be resolved anytime soon?
I think it can be. I think it can be. It is incredibly difficult and incredibly frustrating, I think, for all of us. I think the government is certainly, the English government, as I say, you know, they've made the right noises that in terms of international travel, so I won't say about everything else, but in terms of international travel, they are looking to work as hard as they can with the devolved nations to present a more unified approach. Whether that happens, whether that, you know, politics override that, who knows? Yeah, I think we have to hope that actually we'll get to a point where there is a more unified message when it comes to international travel, because otherwise all that's going to happen is it's, apart from it being very complex, we've already seen there are loops that people will take, and it doesn't benefit anybody. So I think that real clear, consistent approach through the devolved nations is something that will absolutely benefit consumers and businesses as well, trying to navigate through that.
Yeah, we've certainly found it over here. I mean, you know, even that we don't have that message at the moment when we're going to be released for international travel the 17th of May, you know, from Boris was great, but it doesn't apply to us at the present time. We haven't heard anything officially from our executives, so we have to wait on that one. On a personal level, would you be able to tell us a bit about your own personal challenges over the last year? What you've learned about yourself and the leadership experiences and the skills you've needed and what you've gained in this period?
Oh wow, God, there's a lot there. I think certainly one thing I have learned is you know, unless you've got a great team behind you, you're on a road to nowhere. You know, I've been so fortunate because my team have just been amazing. They've been fantastic. You know, I did have to make difficult decisions like everyone else, and you know, I've had to lose 25% of my workforce. But the team have really kind of bounced together, really worked together. It's allowed me to take a more proactive role in terms of the governmental role, governmental insight, and also the media activity. So I think it's really reinforced the message around teams and how important it is. And I think actually, I guess for me personally also, it's taught me that you cannot do everything. You can't. It's never going to happen. Be really clear on priorities, but actually just don't sit back. You know, do not sit back. And, you know, if anyone thinks the right thing to do is to sit down and be quiet and wait for everybody else to take the action, well, they're really not in a leadership role. And I've heard a lot of different, I've read a lot of different, commentators talking about actually the individual roles that leaders should play, and the first one to throw stones at glass houses, and you think, well, actually, you have to stand up, you have to be accountable, you have to lead your business, and that means whether that's your members, your people, whatever it is, you've got to do it. So I think, there's so many lessons, and I think it's also taught us that actually, the industry is very resilient. Our members are, I'm really lucky because my members are incredible, both in terms of their support as individuals, but as businesses. But people want to travel, and being able to support a sector that consumers are really eager to kind of get on board and embark on their next trips is incredible. So quite. I'm not sure I want to repeat it again. 14 months in, I'm not sure I want to repeat it again. But certainly I think I've come out of it stronger, definitely. And I think as a business, we are 100% stronger as a business as well, which is a great position to be in.
Yeah, I must admit that, I've never felt more confident for the future of your high street travel agent or even home working travel agent. Their experience, their knowledge is going to be called upon now more so than ever, and the demand on them is going to be greater.
Oh, without shadow. I mean, you'll know from the media activity we've done, my biggest message always is about the human travel agent. And when I hear the spokespeople in not necessarily in travel, but the journalists use those phrases now, and they talk about the human agent. It is so important. Human agents are worth their weight in gold coming out of this. As you say, their expertise, the value they will add. Consumers are going to want to speak to their local human agent. The world is going to be really complex, not only because of COVID, but Brexit. Brexit also, most consumers haven't travelled in a post-Brexit world. So there are so many complexities that consumers are going to have to navigate through, that the human agent is going to be there to really help them. And I know in the Northern Irish community are going to do a phenomenal job. They were fantastic to start off with, and they are they're for me the epitome, if you like, of how great you can be as human travel agents. And I think they've got a great future ahead. I really do. Some bumps in the road still, without question. I mean, we've got some mountains to climb as a sector, but coming out of this, they are going to be the rising stars. I really believe that.
Yeah, I've just come up with a strap line there. Travel confidence starts with your travel agent. There you go. That's the new marketing tool.
I might use that one.
You can use that one.
Thank you.
I'll send you a bill, because I haven't sent an invoice to anybody for 14 months, so it'll be nice to send one. That'd be great. Is there anything else that you would like to add as a confidence message to we've just talked about, but if there's anything else you would like to add going forward?
I think it's, times are tough, and we can't forget that, and we're not out of the woods yet, and there's lots of challenges. But I think for business owners who have a great business model, who have kind of been able to stand the test of time of the last 14 months, and a lot of our members that been able to hibernate their businesses and are ready to really fight back now, they really have a great opportunity. But my advice is about making sure consumers know the benefit they can provide them in a new world now. We know that consumers want to travel. We know the sentiment to travel is there. Our members are really best placed to be able to take the consumers by the hand and help them navigate through what is going to continue being very complex. But communicate with customers. Make sure the consumer knows that you're there to handhold them. I think is really important. But as I said, I think the human travel agent now has a huge future, and we'll continue talking about that and making sure that consumers are aware who they should be thinking about booking with, as and when the time is right to travel again.
Very good. Quick question. Any holidays planned yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Of course. Can't wait. So I'm booked to go to Sardinia in August.
Lovely.
And so we were supposed to go last year. Didn't obviously, wasn't able to travel last year. So I rebooked for August, 10 days in Sardinia. And fingers crossed, we'll get there. Can't wait.
Well, I have to say, after all your hard work and your high profile out there and keeping the message going, you fully deserve it. And thank you very much again for doing this today. We'll be having a live event in August, and hopefully we can have you over in Belfast and you can see all your members live then.
Oh, can't wait. Something else to look forward to.
Wonderful. Listen, look after yourself, and thanks very much indeed.
You too. All the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Julie. Join us later today at 3 o'clock for our last interview from the top with Steve Heapy, CEO of Jet2.com and Jet2 Holidays. See you then.